Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to AAC Day. It is awesome to be here. My name is Mike Hipple, and I get to talk about organizations, societies, and groups to support your family on the AAC journey. Next slide, please. We're going to start local. Since the name of this talk is called Morning Drive, we're going to call the first thing the drive-through, because your support group is a quick way to get to know who you can go to get help on anything. A support group for families who have a disability is important to find right away. This group is important because you can ask the parents local questions like who is the best doctor in town or where do you go for the dentist. You will find friends from that group too, and over the years you keep coming back to them to get support. It is likely that they only have 2 to 6 parents that have a child who is using AAC. That is okay because it is your local group. You need to learn from other families who had been on this journey longer than you, so you can learn from them. To me, it doesn't matter what is their child's disability is, because what everyone shared that have a child with a disability is you all know how hard life is. Please use this group anytime and every time you need to. Next slide. The next group is your child's school PTA. Let's call PTA toll booth, because this group run the school and likely they have a huge say on things. Like a toll booth where you need to pay to get past it. PTA, you need to volunteer for things to get their support on things that will help your child or your children. You might be surprised that I am saying this, but being in this organization, you have a chair at the table. PTA have a lot of input on how the school is being run and where do we want to spend the money. Some of them have more power than others, like they have a say on what field trips that the classes will go on or host events for the whole school. This will show families that you care about their children. Hopefully they will care about your child. If they have speakers during their meeting, volunteer to talk about AAC and how they can help their children to be better understanding of your kid. I will be happy to Zoom with you to talk to them. If the school have more than one student who use AAC, support one another and help out when you can. Schools and therapy places can't give out names of other families, but there are ways around that. The waiting rooms are terrific places to connect with more AAC families to make your circle of support bigger. Talk to other parents when you are waiting for the therapist. Ask them questions like, how do you use the device during meal times, or how do you communicate with the school team? Ask for their information so you have it. Plan play dates so your child can meet other children who use AAC. That is so important because they don't see themselves in classes, scouts, and at church. They need to have this because they don't feel lonely. Try to find an older kid who is willing to be role model for your kid. When I was young, I had 2 classmates who used AAC, but I didn't know anyone who was older than me. It was so hard to imagine my future for I and my parents without knowing what I could be as an adult. It wasn't until I was 12 that I met my role models. That made a huge impact on myself. I saw what they did and they were doing. I finally had an idea about what I could be doing when I am an adult. Back then, I wouldn't dream that I would be doing half of the things that I am doing now. Next slide. I would like to talk about the region support. Let's call this a map with streets, bridges, and highways. This is families around the city that you are living in and other cities around you. You might like to start a group of AAC communicators that go out in the community to do fun things and use their devices, such as eating a lunch at a restaurant or going shopping. This group does have a lot of positive things about them to help the AAC communicators, the families, and the community. Two of the things that it will help our awareness about AAC and feeling welcome to use the device in public. Anytime I or your child use your devices in public, it brings awareness of AAC. You never know who might be at the place. I get stopped by many people. They might have someone in their life that is nonverbal. We want to make all environments a welcoming environment for communication. So this means the environment needs to be quiet, have things to do that it make your child want to use their device, and it should be fun. Let's take a library for an example. The library is quiet. We can search for books, and they can use their device to ask a librarian, where is this book, or ask someone, how are you? Another place that I love to take groups to are restaurants, especially family-owned restaurants. We order what we want, and when they are making our meals, we visit with one another, like anyone else would. I have one of my great friends, Danny, who also uses a device. Anytime we have a meal together, it is like 2 to 4 hours that we talk. I bet the restaurant workers' first thought when they see us is they're going to be quick. But when we finally leave, I think that they say, well, that was awesome to see. Ha ha ha. I love the many places that we can take people who use AAC to work on their communication skills. Next slide. Next thing that we want to talk about is highway. That means state support. Today is an excellent example of this state support network that we have in Wisconsin. I know that we are on Zoom, but I can still feel the welcome environment. Can you? We also have the Wisconsin AAC network that I founded in 2015. I founded Wisconsin Augmentative Alternative Communication AAC Network. The network mission is to bring Wisconsin stakeholders for AAC together to have in one voice and to share the knowledge that we have. We have a website and a Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group called Family Members Support Group with our name in front. We do post a lot of helpful things in the group. Please check that out. We have Eco AAC for professionals, and we have one for families too. Please come to the webinars. These are great learning opportunities. DPI does have a program called Forward Assistive Technology, where they have a webinar on topics about assistive technology. Their program is amazing and anyone could watch them. When I am talking about DPI, they have listservs for so many topics. Please take a look at their lists, and if one interests you, then join it. I know that we are in October, but it is never too early to talk about summer camps. Variety Charity and the University of Whitewater put on an amazing summer camp for the whole family. It is called Camp Chatter Matter. It goes a Thursday to a Sunday and it is just amazing. I help with the camp and I always have a ball. We have speech therapist students who put on the camp. It is a class for them, which is phenomenal for the students to have. Campus at the university campus and the ages are 5 to 15. Wisconsin does have other camps that they can go by themselves, like Easter Seals, Lion Camp, or Green Lake. The only thing that I want to be clear about is these camps get all kinds of people to work there. So it is so important to have good directions, especially about the device and other assistive technology tools. How your child's device charge, how to clean the device, what to try when the device stops working, a person to call when it is acting up, how many words that they can do in a sentence, and if they need any support when they are using the device. I like to see you trying sending a low-tech device so when they are doing an activity that they can't bring their communication device to, but they need to communicate still. One of the popular activities is swimming. They should have a way to tell someone that they need a towel or when they want to get out. The school team should be able to help you to make one, or just email me or anyone at the center. We could make one for you. Camps are for children, but I believe that for adults, conferences are like going to a summer camp. Next slide. We go to conferences to learn new things, but we also go to see our friends. We are so lucky in Wisconsin, we have so many conferences to go to. Circles of Life is a great conference to go to in the springtime. They have phenomenal workshops to go to. The Autism Society is an amazing organization that does an annual conference and events throughout of the year. Children Come First is another good conference to go to. I was reading through their workshops and they sound interesting. Wisconsin does have a lot of amazing organizations, groups, and conferences to go to. Please go to one. I want to let you know that you can use your child's budget to go to camps and conferences. Please do it because they have the money. Next slide. As we are finishing up, we are turning onto the interstate to talk about national things. United States Society of Augmentative Alternative Communication, USAC, is the only society that works for and with family members, AAC communicators, and professionals. USAC does a lot of things to support everyone in the beautiful AAC community, but I like to point out two things for you today. The advocacy work that they did and do is amazing and really help our community out big time. Without them, I believe that we don't have the internet on devices. Some insurance companies won't pay for the communication device, and our families who are in the military, they don't have a way to get an AAC device. The second thing is helping out families and adults after a national disaster by getting them communication tools so they have a way to communicate their needs. This is huge service to anyone. They don't need to be a member to get this. Please consider joining the society because we can do more with more members. We need to take a train to get to the next place. Impact Voices is an organization that supports and empower AAC communicators. They do monthly chat on Zoom and they just had their first conference. Facebook have a lot of excellent groups to join. I list some of them here. As we are driving back home, I hope you realize that we have a lot of places to turn for support for this journey and you have a community.